In business news tonight, Treasury Secretary Dr. P.B. Jayasundara says that the country should invest in the private sector in order to achieve the country's economic goals for the next 5 years. Jayasundara made this statement while speaking at the 2011 Sri Lanka Economic Summit, which commenced today.
The Sri Lanka Economic Summit, which is being organised by the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce, commenced in Colombo today. The event was held under the auspices of Minister of Economic Development Basil Rajapaksa. The keynote address at the summit's opening session was delivered by Treasury Secretary P.B. Jayasundara.
2011 to 2016, this country, there can be variation, but roughly on average must grow by 8%. This, of course, with also a moderate inflation below 7% throughout the period. So that is the macro framework that the monetary authorities are managing now. Now to achieve this, we need investment. While government is creating enabling environment through strategic investment, private investment must come. So therefore this is the strategy and the framework that both private sector and public sector will be required to manage.
Good evening and welcome to the News First International Desk. The surprise runaway winner of Thailand's election, the Pheu Thai Party, says it has agreed to form coalition with 4 smaller parties.
The party led by Yingluck Shinawatra, sister of ousted Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra, won a clear majority with an estimated 265 seats. Prime Minister Abhisit Vejjajiva has announced his resignation as leader of the Democrats, which won 160 seats. The powerful military has said it will accept the results from Sunday's poll. Yingluck, who has no previous political experience, said the Pheu Thai and 4 other parties had agreed to work together to run the country and solve people's problems. Thaksin was ousted by a military coup in 2006 and critics of his sister say she's a proxy for him. But speaking from Dubai, where he lives in self-imposed exile, Thaksin has said he does not want to return to Thai politics.
Meanwhile, ex-Bosnian Serb army head Ratko Mladic is appearing at a hearing at the Hague War Crimes Tribunal, where he is due to enter pleas against genocide charges.
Ratko Mladic had previously said he would boycott the hearing. Judge Alphonse Ori refused a request by Mladic's court-appointed lawyer to postpone his initial plea. Mladic attempted to speak several times at the beginning of the hearing, but the judge asked him to remain silent until he was given the opportunity to speak. It is General Mladic's second appearance before the court after a hearing on the 3rd of June when he declined to plead on what he called 11 obnoxious charges. Mladic is charged with crimes including genocide in connection with the 1992 to 1995 Bosnian War. Mladic's lawyer, Milos Slajic, had previously said his client would not take part in Monday's proceedings as his defense team had not been approved. Afghan police footage released today showed officers sifting through the debris at one of Kabul's landmark hotels room by room after an overnight assault in which 12 people were killed. The attackers, armed with rocket-propelled grenades and other weapons, stormed the heavily guarded Intercontinental Hotel frequented by Westerners and VIPs before NATO helicopters killed the remaining insurgents in a final rooftop battle that ended a raid lasting more than 5 hours. Northern India's Punjab state ruling Shiromani Akali Dal Bharatiya Janata Party called for a shutdown today in the state to agitate against the recent hike in fuel prices by the federal government. Commercial activity across Punjab has been affected. All shops, markets and commercial establishments across Punjab would remain closed to protest the failure of the Congress-led United Progressive Alliance government in tackling spiralling prices. Saboteurs blew up a pipeline carrying gas from Egypt to Israel and Jordan today, forcing a shutdown in the flow of gas, Egyptian security sources said. The explosion took place in the early morning at a station along the pipeline in the northern Sinai Peninsula at Bir Abed, 60 kilometers east of the Suez Canal. It was the third attack since early February on the pipeline, which supplies natural gas to Israel and Jordan, local cement plants and a power station. A 2-year-old girl falling down from the 10th floor of a building was caught by a young mother downstairs yesterday in a community in Hangzhou, Zhejiang province, East China. The brave mother said she didn't feel too bad in the hospital last night. Her hands were a bit painful, but she felt better with people's encouragement.
Hello there and welcome to Sports Fast. President Mahinda Rajapaksa has congratulated the Sri Lankan cricket team and its captain Thiam Dilshan for taking a 2-1 lead in the one-day series against England. According to a release issued by Sri Lanka Cricket, the president had congratulated former skippers Mahela Jayawardene and Kumar Sangakkara for their immense contribution to the team. The president had also congratulated Dinesh Chandimal for his maiden century on English soil, which incidentally led Sri Lanka to victory in the third one-day international which was played yesterday. For an in-depth analysis on yesterday's game, we are now joined by former captain Arjuna Ranatunga.
Sri Lankans bowled really well to keep England under 250. It was a very good batting track. It looks very brown. A lot of credit should go to the Sri Lankan bowlers and the fielders. The way they kept England below 250. I think when you are playing on a good surface, you need to go past 270, 280 to defend the score. Cook got 100, but unfortunately he took something like 140 odd balls to get 100. That's why England had to rely on some of the middle order batsmen to come and get run a ball or more than run a ball. The bowlers did their job. Lakmal once again start getting wickets. Malinga was on wickets. Then I was very impressed the way Jeevan Mendes bowled. When Sri Lanka went into bat, once again they lost Dilshan very quickly, but a lot of credit should go to Chandimal, the young number 3 batsman. He looked very potential in the last couple of games, but he got the opportunity to bat early, and I'm sure that he capitalized on that. He started playing his shots when he found the loose ball. It didn't put a lot of pressure on someone like Mahela Jayawardene batting on the other side. Overall, it was a very good batting display by the young number 3 batsman for Sri Lanka. I felt we have found another brilliant batsman in the middle. We need to look out to him, protect him.
Sri Lanka took on Northern Ireland today in the opening game of the 2011 World Netball Championship in Singapore today. However, the Irish women got the better of the Sri Lankans as they went on to clinch a 65-56 win.
16 teams from around the world are taking part in this year's Women's World Netball Championship. Sri Lanka is included in Group A along with 4 other teams. Sri Lanka suffered a 65-56 loss in their opening game against Northern Ireland today. Northern Ireland is ranked 12th in the world rankings, while Sri Lanka currently occupies the 18th position in the rankings. Meanwhile, New Zealand clinched an emphatic 80-25 win over Fiji today. New Zealand currently occupies the top spot in the world netball rankings, while Fiji occupies the 5th place.
Serbia's Novak Djokovic won his first Wimbledon title yesterday and proved himself to be the best player in the world by dethroning former world number 1 Rafael Nadal.
Novak Djokovic came through 6-4, 6-1, 1-6, 6-3 to end Rafael Nadal's reign as Wimbledon champion before overtaking the Spaniard as world number 1. It was his 50th win in 51 matches and his 5th win over Nadal this year. He becomes the first Serbian man to win the Wimbledon crown. Djokovic had done enough before yesterday's final to guarantee himself the top ranking no matter what the result was in the final. He came into the match having beaten the Spaniard in 4 finals already this year, but Nadal was still favoured by many to claim a 3rd Wimbledon title as he had won all 5 Grand Slam meetings with Djokovic. The record felt like ancient history as the Djokovic of 2011 overcame a slightly edgy start to take a stranglehold on the match. Arundhati, tell us a bit about the new world #1 men's tennis player. How many Grand Slam titles has he won so far?
Well, with the Wimbledon title which he won yesterday, he has a total of 3 Grand Slam titles under his belt. Earlier, he won the Australian Open on 3 occasions.
So, do you think the Serb deserves to be at the top of the ATP standings?
Well, he has had a brilliant run of form in 2011. He maintained a 43-match winning streak from the 2010 Davis Cup to the semi-finals of the French Open. Born in 1987, he became the youngest Serbian to win a Grand Slam title when he clinched victory in the Australian Open in 2008. Djokovic won the Tennis Masters Cup in 2008 and has 9 Masters Series wins under his belt as well. Now, he led Serbia to Davis Cup honours last year and was an Olympic bronze medal winner at the 2008 Beijing Olympic Games.
Well, thank you, Arundhati, for that update.
And with that, we wrap up Primetime News for tonight. Do log on to our websites, that's www.newsfirst.lk and ethalaya.com. I'm Ramesh Bandara.
And I'm Mahina Bongzi. It was a pleasure having you with us here as always. Take care and good night.